know is they take a bunch of sorry.
We're good. We're live now. Missy's going to pop on and say hi, if that's cool with you, to talk a little bit more about Star Wars. But we are live. There's two of us for now. We're not sure where everybody went, but
Yeah,
apparently people on our podcast are parenting.
yeah,
Like,
puppies and babies.
yeah, puppies, babies,
By the way,
jobs.
I forgot to mention it, and I probably should put it in the Discord too. Lyra's super cute.
Yeah,
Super cute.
Lyra's adorable.
Is it Lyra or Lyra?
Lyra.
Lyra.
Yeah.
Lyra is super cute. So I can't get her name right, but.
I mean, they named her after my favorite movie. I'm gonna get the name right.
Yeah, well, I figured that's why when you were like, you were like, it's what is it, Lyra?
Lyra.
Lyra. And you were like, it's Lyra. I was like, yeah, then you probably are right. I know you're right because you would not get that name wrong. It'd be like if they named her Jen and I kept calling her Jan. You'd be like, no, I think you're probably right.
No, that you might die. You might die.
You know, we were doing.
Hi,
those
Carly.
Oh, Carly.
I'm sorry.
Hi. Yeah. No, I didn't know Carly was on. I was going to check the chat. Oh, hi, Carly. No, we were doing those what ifs, and I actually did. Not that I was going to do it because I figured you had Rogue One covered, but I was like, how do you save Cassian and Jin on that beach? You know, without doing.
Well, you open the world between worlds and yeet them somewhere else.
Doing the world between worlds, and like, do they just like, do they just like?
I don't like if like there's a ship that.
A shot of just, I can tell sand and debris, and then all of a sudden a hand comes out like Last Jedi. It's just Jen and Cat. They just survived it. Like it didn't even. I mean,
you know what? I feel like after somehow Palpatine returned, there is no longer. Okay, they brought Maul back, and Maul was cut in half. So therefore, even if I see a body, I'm not convinced.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, we don't see them get, burned up or anything. Well, I was going to say, something on my screen or something on my wall. Hold on.
The end of that movie is beautiful, and I'd not change a thing, but I'm going to read a dozen Fix-It fanfics about it. You have no idea.
Like, you know what? You're absolutely right. After the whole somehow Palpatine returned, it's yeah, you can just.
I'm not even sure if
you could just have them just like wake up on the beach and be like, "All right, let's go."
I thought we were dead.
They're like, "Huh? I thought that would kill us. Apparently not." And then Saw Gerrera shows up because he didn't die on Jeddah. It just got a bunch of sand knocked all over him. Him and Borgullet show up.
And then Bale comes out, and turns out that's the retcon we need. Is the Death Star's not actually that powerful?
Right. Sarah, what are you doing? Oh, that's your food. Zara's trying to bury her food in the carpet.
Oh. You missed yesterday. My dogs were fighting over a pig's ear because there's more than one in the house because I only dole them out in pairs. Were they eating them in pairs? No, somebody hid theirs somewhere, and then they're fighting over the remaining one.
See, I keep wanting to give Zara a pig's ear, but it messes up her stomach. So if I know we're going to be someplace where I can just let her out and don't have to walk her, or don't have to worry about her waking up in the middle of the night, I'll give her one. But every time I do that, she goes into her crazy fight or flight mode, and she just spends 20 minutes hiding it around the house. So she doesn't actually eat it. So she's the one that misses. There's a pig's ear right up. Actually, right. I can see it from here. But I took it away from her because she was just driving me nuts. She kept trying to bury it where I was sitting, or when I was sleeping, or just like, I'm like, part of me is just like, just eat it. So anyway,
Yep.
Oh, they have a blender. Awesome. That's a completely different.
Hey, that's the very important thing is if you have a blender.
They do have a blender. So all right. There.
Then I mean, if you bought rum, then you can do. You don't have to do margaritas. You could do like pina coladas, or there's a lot of rum drinks you could do.
Yeah, but I only got a mixer for. I mean, unless you count Diet Coke, I only have a mixer for the tequila.
Well, clearly, you have to go back to the liquor store.
Well, I'm not going back to the liquor store. I just need another mixer. Maybe I'll just get a mixer for the rum. There's these drinks called
I don't know.
Bushwhack that my sister and I used to drink when we would go see my dad. And so I looked at the recipe for that, but it takes a lot more liquor. I'm like, I can't keep buying all this liquor. I'm like an alcoholic.
That's like my parents have a rum punch recipe that takes like a dozen kinds of alcohol. So when you have to buy it all, you look like an alcoholic, but it's enough for like an entire summer worth of rum punch. Okay, I'm gonna ring.
Right.
Hey, we have a guest today. Hi, Missy.
Hello.
Missy, this is Jason. Jason, this is
Hello.
my friend Missy. She's normally in the comment section, but since there's like, two of us hanging out today, I think after the week where she learned how to... What? Yeah, upgraded on the comment section. Yeah, after the week Hannah had learning how to like yeet herself out of windows and stuff, I wonder if she's just asleep.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah, me either.
What are you doing, Rachel?
I'm working on my wig.
Oh, okay.
Why am I working on my wig? Because I can't sit still. That's why.
On your wig?
Yeah, I'm brushing out the wig I was working on at my cosplay night the other night.
This is the brown wig, right? This is the...
Yep. This is the Ray one that I'm...
Gin wig?
Actually, it's two separate wigs. I have two different wigs. One is for Ray, one is for Jin, because they wear their hair different. I could probably make them, but because Jin has bangs and Ray does not.
Oh,
Jin wears bangs on the side of her face and Ray doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could make that work, probably.
I could make it work, but then also I'd have to do my wigs at Comic-Con or the morning of. I'd have to redo it in the hotel between the days.
And that requires effort.
I just figured it's always easier to just swap wigs because by the time you get back to your room, would probably be tired and not want to redo my hair. There's a reason my hair's this short, okay?
I used to have long hair too. I get it.
Jason's like, can't comprehend, can't.
Yeah, my only exposure to wigs is the movie Tootsie, and
oh yeah,
I was. By the way, that movie lets you know there's a lot of work involved in a wig.
Oh yeah.
For those of you who don't remember Tootsie, and then in high school for Halloween, I was I went as like a heavy metal guy, and I had a blonde wig. Kept that wig for years. That was always comedy gold.
Nice. I used to have one. I used to have one I wore to the Bristol Renaissance Fair, and my ex was like, yeah, it's really hot today because, Bristol is weekends in July, August, September. So he's hot, but he's wearing like a cotton shirt and a cotton pair of pants, and I am wearing, a woman's outfit, which is a shirt, an underskirt, a bodice and an overskirt, a wig, my scarf, and I'm like, oh, you're hot?
Right. Yeah, I have several friends who are drag queens, so I understand the whole wig and makeup thing.
Yeah. That's the thing is every time I get on because I went to school for theater, every time I get on my Facebook, I've got like 4 friends in gorgeous outfits, and I'm like, why do all my male friends look better in a dress than I do? Because I have questions. So, Missy, this is what we were doing yesterday, and maybe you have fun ones. Our episode topic for that we will release on Monday / whenever David remembers is calling you out while you're not here, David. Is Star Wars What Ifs? Have you watched Marvel What If?
No, I haven't watched the stuff like that's out now, but I know the concept. Yes.
Yeah. So we were thinking if you change one thing in a Star Wars timeline, we were talking about what might change down the road. It was actually fairly interesting and then we got into Jedi Temple sex ed and it all went downhill from there.
That's usually your Saturday nights.
Meg had definitely had wine before her dinner.
Ah, fair. So
and Megan was trying to talk with Lyra on her chest, and Emily was trying to keep her puppy from realizing that she had left the room. So it was...
Oh, dear.
It was an interesting evening.
Okay, so what topics have we already discussed other than sex ed?
We said the three that we didn't want to talk about because we've talked about them before was Ben Solo Lives, because we've talked about that one a million times.
You talk about that to death.
Shut up. What were the other ones? What if Qui-Gon trained Anakin?
Okay.
And what if Yoda trained Leia instead of Luke? Those were the three we decided to not talk about because we'd already talked about them.
Because the first thing that came to my mind was I guess it's two things would be either if they didn't separate the twins, or if they switched them.
Ooh,
we talked to Chase. That was
Alderaan.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
that was.
Yeah, that was fun. We talked about if Padme had lived.
I did Prince Luke Organa of Alderaan.
He was a himbo.
He kind of already is.
Yeah, he's totally.
Look,
yeah, he just happens to not be on planet when Alderaan gets blown up and makes it to Yavin, and then he pays Han and Chewie to get him out of there before the Death Star shows up.
And then gets mugged in an alley.
They drop him at like the first spaceport, and he gets mugged. He's obnoxious. So.
He's kind of obnoxious as he is, so that's not that big of a...
I was going to say, he's a male Skywalker. They're just all obnoxious. What was the other one I was just thinking of?
I, of course, had one from Rogue One, and it was not that Jyn and Cassian lived. I said, what if the Rebel Alliance had thrown their support behind the mission?
Oh, if they'd all gone?
If they'd all gone right off the bat.
Yeah.
Which led to,
like if it was planned out a little bit better, like Empire, not Empire, but Return of the Jedi, when they go to Endor or something. Like they were like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, which would be cool. There's a couple others I was thinking of because we realized, and this was probably something they'll learn in the Marvel one too. The earlier in the saga you change anything, the more starts to change. Yeah, like we were talking about, stuff with Shmi and stuff like that, but if you change something as far back as Phantom Menace, things can be really weird. Yeah, things can be really weird by the time you get to the Pope.
So what do you think if Poe actually had a brain in Last Jedi?
First of all, then he wouldn't be Poe Dameron.
Well, yes.
Secondly, I think... I couldn't see... It would have depended, because so much of that interlocked, Would Rey have still... Because Rey had the tracker to go to them. If she would have still gone to Crate, it's entirely possible the First Order could have followed her and still gotten there, but they'd have had a few more troops.
I guess I was just... If he had actually trusted...
Holdo. Yeah. Then they would have ended up on Crate.
Holdo had lived, I guess.
And Holdo, because, I don't know how the standoff would have happened then, because, no, she still would have been in the shuttle, because she was going to pilot it no matter what while they got away. But if they weren't firing on the fleet, she wouldn't have known to go through the Star Destroyer, so Finn and Rose would have died. It wouldn't have knocked Kylo Ren unconscious, so we don't know if Rey could have escaped. Maybe Poe Dameron's dumbassery was the best thing for the Resist.
Ultimately, I think. But speaking of Finn, so when they get in the quicksand or whatever, and he's like, I have to tell you something, Rey? What if he had actually said he was Force sensitive?
You mean if he wasn't? Okay, so there's a lot of... The dumbass ball is being passed around the... I have this theory.
Star Wars are kind of...
And even even the script we're working on tomorrow, which we've not announced our project for tomorrow yet, so we should eventually do that. But even tomorrow, I literally believe I texted Jason at one point and said the Resistance has one brain cell and Rose is holding it.
Yeah,
at any given moment, Rose will be the one holding the brain cell. Yeah,
I don't know. Do droids count as having brain cells?
Well,
because R2's had it the entire time.
R2's done. R2 is done being the smartest one in the room. R2 is just he is on like the second last Rise of Skywalker wrapped. He's at a droid spa somewhere. He's like, just wipe my memory. I don't want to remember these people.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's just sort of like, I could tell you, but
yeah.
That's the thing I never quite understood. I'm sorry if you can hear a train going past my apartment.
Yeah.
That at the end of Revenge of the Sith, when they wipe 3PO's brain, did they wipe R2's?
In the novel, they say they did. In the movie, they never make a point of it.
Not that anybody would understand R2 anyway. Well, Luke would.
I was going to say, you'd think that he'd just tell 3PO everything, because 3PO understands R2.
Yeah, and Luke does.
Yeah, and Luke does.
Because if you think of, like, Empire, I'm never sure if he doesn't recognize Yoda, or if he's just messing with him, or playing along.
I don't know. The prequels did open up a lot of these questions.
That goes into my...
Oh God, this again.
That goes into my R2 is a jerk rant, so I don't.
Well, Rachel will tell you that in our
because I didn't read the novel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't read the novel, so I only go off the movie. And in the movie, they say have the protocols droid mind wiped. They don't say anything about R2. So as far as I'm concerned, the movie canon is they didn't. So. Which makes R2 the biggest jerk. Because he knew everything and said nothing.
Honestly, so. I go off the movie too, and so I don't think they did. But Rachel will tell you in the readings we've done of the sequels and stuff,
You just froze real bad, Missy. Are you still there?
Oh, did you lose me?
Yeah, I lost you for a second. You said I.
Yeah, we did.
I have played R2 in our readings that we've done in the past, and I always play him as just over it and just complete smartass.
I believe the only time we've ever dropped an F-bomb in one of our readings was R2.
And it was on Octu.
Right before Sacred Island, watch your language. We're like, what does he say?
Yeah.
But I think R2 is one of the only people that can
stupid effing island.
No, I think it was what the F, dude, because he's one of the few people that can actually tell off Luke, I think.
That is still one of my favorite moments in Star Wars ever, when Luke is like, I'm not coming back, and R2 projects Leia, and Luke is like, fair but rude.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know, like, he's on all the merchandise, but people don't genuinely love R2-D2 enough, and I love R2-D2, and Jason thinks R2-D2 is a giant jerk.
I think that's why I love him.
I love R2. No, actually, R2 is one of my favorite characters. I think a lot of people love R2. I think merchandising wise, they were trying to. I mean, BB-8's a lot cuter than R2. So, actually, my nephew calls R2 BB-8. So, Dio did not take off, which I'm kind of happy about.
I love Dio.
Okay, Dio reminds us of my dog, to be fair. Yeah. Missy and I found our little
there you go.
the little droids in Target. They're like $15 for these like Galaxy's Edge droids. They're stuffies. And they were marked down to like $4. So Yeah, only time Missy's ever actually gotten a phone call from me is she's like, "Did you mean to call me? Because you don't use your phone for that." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, no, I need you to pick out a droid because they're $4 droids at Target." I have Chopper somewhere.
Weren't you making me choose between Dio, R2, and BB?
I think it was Dio, R2, and Chopper. I don't think there was BB.
Okay, because it was a very hard decision.
Yeah, they were fun.
But yeah, I just
always
love
every
the
time I see
droids.
Dio, I always think of that line from. No, I think I keep thinking of the line from Mean Girls to stop trying to make fetch happen, and that's what I think of.
Yeah.
I think of Dio. I think they're like they
Yeah.
tried so hard to make like Dio happen. It's like just
Yeah.
stop trying to make Dio happen. It's not. It's.
I
You
will
already
say
have a
one of
cute droid. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite lines, though, is what did Poe call him? And he's like, "I am Dio."
Cone face.
Yeah.
I was watching that earlier
Face,
because
yeah.
I'm trying to get. I was trying to absorb some cadence of how people talk, but yeah, it was what cone face. Turns out I can skip the scene where Leia dies and pick up right afterwards, and I'm still gonna cry. It's just done. It's just a thing. Oh, here, look! I made my lightsaber. I finished this yesterday, and you turn the switch, and it opens.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You made that yourself?
It was 3D printed, and I assembled it and had to sand it all to fit because it was much too tall as an emitter. So I did that. My coworker painted it, and I wrapped it while we were recording last night. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I did all sorts of stuff with
That's
it.
super cool.
I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoy painting the 3D model props.
So going back to the what if discussion.
Okay.
Sorry.
What is it? And I've heard this before, is people saying, what if Ahsoka had been involved in raising Luke and Leia?
I feel like Luke would be less whiny because Ahsoka would have just like smacked him a couple times, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I never really thought of Ahsoka as a maternal figure.
Well, we don't know for sure if she knows that Obi-Wan's alive.
That's true. I still haven't watched season 7 of the Clone Wars, so I'm behind on that. But we don't know if she knows that Obi-Wan lived. We don't know if she knows if anyone's alive. We don't know what she knows in Rebels.
She doesn't know that. Yeah, I mean, and I didn't.
She didn't know Padme was pregnant,
so
right?
I would imagine
she didn't.
I don't think so. No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't have known because she left the Order before all that, and she didn't see her again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going off of.
Anakin brought it up to her.
I was just kind of going off Mandalorian, so she had to have been around somewhere.
She had to know something, but who knows what she knew and when. I mean, there's a good. Yeah. What is it? If Mando is 9 years after New Hope, which is 19 years after Sith, so that's 28 years.
Wow.
One of my friends has
16, maybe.
I think she's supposed to be 14 at the start of the Clone Wars, so she would be 17-ish when they ended.
Yeah. So 17 and 28 makes her
45.
45, yeah.
Yeah. So she's 45 in Mando.
The age of Rosario. It's probably around Rosario Dawson's age, so that makes sense. All right.
How old is Cassian?
Cassian in Rogue One?
Yeah.
He's 26.
Okay, I was just trying to...
Okay, Jason was making fun of me one day because I knew all of these.
Yeah. No, I was just trying to figure out where he fit in the timeline.
The ages of Rogue One characters just count me out. I don't know anything about that, and just all those questions are for Rachel.
I just conveniently was like 21.
Conveniently under the couch. Because there's a lot of stuff under the couch. It's where hopes and dreams go to die.
So Rogue One is about 18 years after.
Rogue One is 19 years. It is like literally
It's
butts
like
up
right up
against
to-
New Hope. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So he would have been 6, 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jin was born during the Clone Wars, and she's 5 years younger.
Yeah,
Because she's born during the Clone Wars. She's born when Lyra and Galen are being held by the Separatists.
yeah, that's in the book. That's a great book.
Yeah, I haven't read Catalyst yet. I need to.
Sea.
Catalyst.
I actually can't believe you haven't read Catalyst. You will have a brand new
I
appreciation.
own it. I just don't have it. I have it. I just haven't read it yet. I was telling Alberto from Radio Rebellion that he needs to read the Rogue One novel, and then we'd circle back and have another Rogue One discussion because we talked about Rebel Rising and Rogue One. But I hadn't read Catalyst, and he hadn't read the novel. So.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through Resistance Reborn right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I know. I bought you that one.
I know you did. I'm telling you, I'm about halfway through it.
That was your Christmas present. It was either gonna be that for your Christmas present or Poe Dameron Freefall, which is the teenage Poe novel.
Tempting.
Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't heard good. It's more of a YA, so I bought you the one that I liked. But yeah, I got to catch up. I've got a bunch of Star Wars books that I need to read. I read Rising Storm, but I didn't read Light of the Jedi. I read Race to Crash Point Tower, but haven't read Out of the Shadows yet.
I have a 3-hour car ride this weekend. I should probably try and knock out one of the Republic books. I feel so bad. Everybody else is like into them, really enjoying them, and I just can't find the time. Well, I probably could find the time. I
started with Rising Storm, and I really liked Rising Storm. So I just Googled whatever didn't make sense because I hadn't read Light of the Jedi, but it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I might have screamed "what the fuck" at Hannah for like 2 hours after I finished the book, but because that was my only reaction. I'm like, because it like ends like really sadly, suddenly, and violently. Just whoop, it's done, and leaves you with a bunch of questions. And I just think I just sent Hannah 40 text messages that all said "what the fuck."
Car rides and audiobooks are my favorite way to read anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour. It's a pretty nice drive. Although the last time I did it, it like torrential downpoured the entire time. So I'm hoping.
That's never fun.
Beyond that, yeah, it's a really nice kind of a nice ride.
See, I got a big. Maybe I'll actually buy an Audible book because I have a fairly decent car ride next weekend too. I got to drive to my parents.
So once I finish with this book, my next one is going to be Wishful Drinking, which is Carrie Fisher's autobiography.
I think I have that on my side. And she narrates, yeah. I'll just cry through the whole thing. I miss her so much. I miss her. I'm trying to think of what one I should get for. Yeah, it is. I need to get.
I've seen it. It's awesome.
I love her. God, you've seen the Blues Brothers, right, Missy and Jason?
God, yeah.
I love it. Might be my favorite role of hers. It might top Princess Leia. Is her with the machine gun in the Blues Brothers? Did you know she was engaged to Belushi for a while?
I think I did hear that. Yeah,
they were engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, to Dan Aykroyd.
No, to Jim Belushi.
And she left him. No, John Belushi's married.
I thought she was.
She was with Aykroyd.
See, I always heard it was the other way around.
One of them.
But must have taken it off. Wishful Drinking was on HBO Max, but I guess they took it off.
Oh, they did apparently. It was Dan Aykroyd.
Get your rumors right,
Yeah,
Rachel.
and then she left
Jesus
him
Christ.
for. Oh, it is still on. Yeah, Wishful Drinking. She did a stage version of it.
I've seen it.
in
It's
2010.
hilarious.
Yeah. So if you want to, it's an hour and 15 minutes. But I might want to.
It's totally worth it.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay, so I was right about that. Oh, and that's all that's important. I was right about it.
I heard a beep beep. Hey, Emily.
Hey guys. I don't know how much time I have here.
Okay, Emily, this is my friend Missy. Missy, this is Emily. Missy popped on because it was Jason and I for a while because everybody's parenting. So
or there's a monsoon.
yeah, there's a monsoon. I think Meg is also in a monsoon, but it's of work.
Oh, different type of monsoon.
Well, I can assure you that Meg is not in a monsoon because I can see out my window and I live less than 10 miles from
How's
Meg.
the puppy?
He is currently asleep, but he just fell asleep, so I don't know if it'll last. I'm starting to learn his schedule. Like if he gets feisty, like what he needs, like, oh, is it water? Is it food? Is it a potty break? And I think I'm also learning that I can have 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening where we like go hard, where we like walk a quarter mile, we play real hard. And then I think that's enough to like wear him out. So it's hard. It's hard having a puppy.
I adopted my dogs at 6 and
No.
7, so
Did you say, Jason? I think there might be a lag.
No, I got 0 when she was about 4 months. So
Oh yeah, I think he's 3 months right
yeah,
now.
there's a little bit of a lag.
They said he was 12 weeks when we brought him home, but I think he's actually, well, he was 11 weeks, so we thought when we brought him home, but I think he's actually like just turned 14 weeks. And he's big. Like I just saw one of my neighbors as we were walking, and she's like, "Is that the same dog?" I'm like, yeah, he's a lot bigger.
how much is he packing away the kibble?
Well, kind of. He had to be dewormed this week.
Oh no, poor baby.
It made him lose his appetite, and it made him not be able to sleep. And it was only for 3 days. Like we had to put this stuff in his food, and it's finally out of his system to where he slept most of the day. And today he was just ravenous. He was so hungry. I'm like, well, it's probably because he hasn't been eating all week, but he's still growing. So.
Well, that's always fun. My dogs had to go for a car ride earlier because we were being squirrels. That was my mom and I were watching that show, that Dogs 101, which tells you about the different breeds of dogs.
Oh.
We happened to click on the episode that's all about Chihuahuas. And they're like, they think most dogs were descended from the fox, but they're not really sure what the Chihuahua, or from the wolf, but they think the Chihuahua might be descended from another, canine breed or a fox or something. There's something crossed in. And my mom goes, squirrels. Chihuahuas are descended from squirrels.
Especially your dogs.
Oh, that's
Mr.
funny.
Snooper can hear you. Thank you very much. Hey, Boots, go back to bed.
Mr. Snooper knows I love him.
Yeah. One of my dogs just popped his head out of the covers like, I know you're talking about me.
Spook also really likes car rides. Like we
That's
put him in
good.
there and we put him in his crate, but the past few times he's just like fallen asleep. He'll like look out the window and then he'll just fall asleep. I'm like, this is great.
When he gets old enough to know what size he's gonna be, I have like one of those basket car seats for my dog. So it's a spot for him to sit.
Yeah.
I guess if he gets big enough, you can have the harness that attaches to the seatbelt. My dogs are too little for that.
Yeah.
So they have this little like basket car seat that keeps them pretty contained.
I did like I looked up a couple like calculators of how big he's gonna be, and they all said he'd be like in the 40s, which is bigger than what we thought. Like Rex was 30 pounds, and he's a beagle, and they said that he was probably like part rat terrier. So like I was like picturing him being smaller than your average beagle, but it seems like he might be maybe even a little bit bigger than your average beagle. So
there's also 2 sizes of beagles, so sometimes it depends on which one you got.
Yeah, and you know, he was a stray. His mom was a stray, so I'm pretty sure he is mostly beagle because he does have a lot of the features and personality. He loves to sniff and dig. But who knows? I have one of those like dog DNA tests that I got for Rex, and I never used it, so maybe I'll use it on him.
My sister, who went to school for forensic DNA, says that they're not the most accurate, but they'll give you like an idea.
Yeah.
But it's not like super useful for like my dad's dog because we know she's like Sheltie Beagle and anything else is small.
Yeah.
So, but
Rachel, that was beagles that we saw at the fairgrounds, wasn't it?
The
working dogs.
Yeah, Missy and I went to the state fair on Wednesday, which is why I wasn't on Wednesday night because I was hot and had a headache. But they had a show in the agriculture tent, which was the beagles that the USDA uses that sniff out like fruits and vegetables when people are bringing stuff into the country that could contaminate our food supply. Yeah. And so they said, you know, one of them was a purebred beagle and one of them they just get hound mixes from shelters.
Yeah. I mean, he can smell so well. It's crazy. Like, and he's really sensitive to sound too. Like he hears, he'll turn his head real sharp and his ears will flap.
Could be. My dad's dog that's part beagle, we said for a while, we call her the alien because she's weird looking and she's kind of weird. But she, the song Joker, when the song makes this sound for a while, and go when you see her ears go. And my brother's like, I think it just disrupted her connection to the mothership.
I could see Snoopy doing that too.
Snoopy is usually so busy doing a float with Nana at that point. My mom, Emily, bought my dogs little dog floats just for dogs to get in the pool, and one of them is shaped like a speedboat. Oh. My Chihuahua mix is sitting looking through the windshield of a speedboat as my mother pushes him around the pool.
Oh, that's adorable.
For a while, my mom and I were literally like you do with a toddler. We're standing, both of us are in the pool. We are pushing, I push the boat to her. She turns it around, pushes it back to me. And literally we spent 45 minutes pushing the dog back and forth.
Oh, wow. Jason, did we lose Jason?
I think he might have gotten a delay.
I think Jason's our resident David today.
Maybe he's also in a monsoon.
Yeah. I feel bad because I just kicked Jason because he froze, but then it'll come back. I will send him a message.
I feel bad because I'm wearing an Avatar shirt on a Star Wars stream, but like really I have like 10 minutes maybe to like shower, get dressed and whatever. And that's like today my husband had him like outside and I'm like, I gotta do all the things real quickly. So I put this on and then there's just no time. He loves clothes. So
goodness.
If he's out of his crate, I can't dress myself. But if he's in his crate, he will cry unless he's like worn out, passed out. So showering and like clothing myself have been some of the deepest challenges with the puppy.
Oh goodness. Yeah, see I'll let him load for a minute. Here we go. Are you back?
Poor Jason, always having problems. Are you back? His camera's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Still frozen? Yeah. What's going on?
Oh, I heard you.
The lovely StreamYard that I love so much.
I don't know why
we do not need to rant about StreamYard again. I don't know why y'all have so
Lovely
many problems.
StreamYard.
I do live theater productions on StreamYard, and I don't have this many problems.
Ooh, Rachel, let's take it down a notch.
Breathe, Rachel.
I don't have problems with StreamYard.
I think I'm probably gonna get kicked off again.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The StreamYard work, I'm not on like Rachel's end of things. So is it like easier to put it on YouTube from StreamYard than like Zoom?
It is. StreamYard's easier to manage a stream, and it keeps a steadier stream than Zoom does. Like, if we ever decided to go back to Zoom, it would just have to be like tomorrow with what we're doing with the reading and everything. I'm going to be the one hosting it because I have the most stable internet. So that's going to be it. Zoom depends on the person with the most stable internet. If it kicks you off, it ends your stream. StreamYard holds the stream for us. So even if like right now I'm in the control booth, even if I got kicked off, it would keep the stream going. Which is why we use it for theater. So like if whoever is the host loses their stream, there's still the ability to keep going. Or like if I lose internet, somebody else can log into the control room. Like I always have like the producer or somebody's on call for me to tell to come get in the control room and take over the show. I'm working on a wig. Sorry, that's why my hands keep doing this.
I was wondering what you were doing with the hair. But like I had like a prick of, is that hair? But then I'm like, it's Rachel, so it didn't really surface to what is she doing?
Yeah, that was the first thing I asked when I got on. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm usually doing something with my hands because I can't sit still.
Yeah. I actually got in a nap today because the puppy, Spook is just, he slept a lot. He slept from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. straight.
Goodness.
And then he slept for most of the day. And so my husband and his friend were in the living room, and I'm like, can I go nap? Like, puppy's sleeping. You guys are here. Do I have to be in the room right now? So I went and took like an hour and a half nap. It was great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Jonathan Parker in the comments is saying he misses the Mandalorian. He has the Mandalorian blues, and I also miss my himbo and his green gremlin child.
Yeah. When does it come back?
They don't know. They haven't started shooting season 3 yet.
Yeah, I would. We talked about it the other night. I would wager probably end of 2022. They haven't even started shooting yet.
Oh wow, that's really far away. But we're getting the Book of Boba Fett before then.
Book of Boba Fett's in like the Mandalorian's usual spot, like this Christmas.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we'll also get Cassian and Kenobi before.
Oh,
probably.
That's right.
Okay, the fact that we don't have a release date for Andor is my villain origin story. Because I'm waiting.
So is Boba Fett the first thing coming out?
Yeah. Boba Fett is Visions is next, then Book of Boba Fett. Okay. No, Visions Halloween special, Book of Boba Fett.
I forgot about the Halloween special.
I'm really excited for wait, when does Visions come out? Next month?
There's a countdown on the Star Wars app. 1 second. Let me read you my countdown I just saw.
I'm very excited about it.
I think it's like the 22nd, I think. I want to say this is
I am not an anime person, but I'm kind of into it. 31 days, 7 hours, 39 minutes, and 42 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't excited about it. But I don't know why until I saw all the trailers, and they look so good. And I really love anime and I love Star Wars, and it's like they made the show for me.
You know, I didn't expect to miss the Bad Batch as much as I did. I didn't have anything to do Friday morning.
Well, yesterday I was like walking Spook, and I'm like, oh, we're up early. We'll have time to watch Bad Batch before I have to work. I was all excited. I'm like, oh wait. No.
Did you and Zira end up still having nugget lunch?
Yeah, we still got nuggets for lunch, but it was not the same. We just kind of watched like dumb stuff on YouTube. It wasn't the same as watching Bad Batch. So I'm thinking I might save the Marvel What If for Friday. and then
Yeah.
just watch that because I don't feel like I like them more. I've watched 2. I like them okay. I'm not like Bad Batch where I'm just sort of like I can't wait for lunch so I can watch this. It's just kind of like okay.
Yeah, I need to go and do my MCU binge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the What If show, is every episode different or do they connect?
I think they're supposed to connect eventually. So far, they haven't.
Okay.
The whole
Like, the first
multiverse
one-
thing confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah, I mean, the first episode was Captain Carter, and then the second episode was Black Panther is one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so I don't know what the third one's going to be, but
Interesting.
I lost my train of thought. Sorry, brain just went for a second.
You had a Snoop moment.
Yeah, there's a thought, and it's gone. My work group chat's always fun because 3 of us watch the Star Wars shows and 3 of us watch the Marvel shows. So there's always that odd person out who has no idea what's going on in the group chat on any given. For the Marvel shows, I am that person. So I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're all very happy. So I'm really happy for you.
Yeah, I need to
I've
go back
only-
and watch. I waited till Loki was done so I could binge it, and I
I
haven't
just want to
watched.
watch Tom Hiddleston for a couple hours. I'm good with that. I don't care if I understand. what's
Yeah,
going on.
why do you think I'm doing it?
I
The
don't care
only
if I
one
understand.
I've watched was WandaVision, and I really liked it. But me and my husband just rewatched all the Captain America movies, so now I'm thinking I want to watch the show with
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter.
I
Falcon
want to
and
watch
Winter
that too.
When I rewatched it, I'm like, I really like those 2 characters. I didn't like have that thought my first time watching those movies, but on the rewatch, I'm like, they're precious.
I have watched 4 Marvel movies in my life, and
One of which I made you.
I was gonna say, I think one of the 4 y'all made me because my Star Wars group watches had just branched out to we were just watching movies every week, and when Chadwick Boseman died, we decided to watch Black Panther, and I really enjoyed it. And they said, okay, Rachel can pick the Marvel movie she wants to experience, so I picked Captain Marvel, and I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it seems like a Rachel movie, Captain
Yeah,
Marvel.
I really enjoyed that. The other 2, I saw the first Avengers, but I saw it like right when it was released on home video, so I couldn't tell you anything about it anymore. I remember there was Loki, and I remember there was the whole concept for me.
That's my favorite scene in the movie, though.
I watched Doctor Strange when
Mhm.
I was intoxicated,
Oh,
and
that's-
It's the best way to
Yeah.
watch it, to be honest.
yeah.
it was great. It was so much fun. My sister made me watch it, and but yeah.
my nephew loves the Loki Hulk scene. He'll take an action figure and like whack it around and
He
Leave
likes
it
those
with God.
violent scenes.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know. I think we might need to get your nephew professional help, Jason.
I'm kind of feeling the same way a little bit. I mean, it's cute. It's cute that he's 3. I think when he's 8, though, I don't know if it'll be so cute anymore because he does
Yeah.
like he gravitates to the villains and pretty much in everything he except for Spider-Man. He likes Spider-Man. It's his big.
Well, of course.
You
My
know,
nephew is a
like-
Venom fan.
Oh,
But we thought my sister was going to be messed up for life because she gravitated to the villains. Like her favorite character from the Disney cartoon canon for years, Jafar. Loved
Oh.
Jafar. And
So-
now she's a forensic scientist who catches the bad guys.
So, Rachel, I think you need to confess that one of our people that's in our thing tomorrow, who's 11, you made her watch.
I did. Tomorrow, if you guys have seen, David's been teasing. Is it okay if I announce this now, Jason? What we're doing tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay. It's real. It's really happening. It's happening tomorrow. Tomorrow's a thing. Jason wrote a treatment for an alternate Star Wars Episode 9 with a screenplay that's basically the 3rd draft, if you consider Duel of the Fates as the 1st and the theatrical Rise of Skywalker as the 2nd. This is like the 3rd, which takes ideas from both and original ideas. and we are going to do a reading of it and release it for you as a podcast. So it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of prequel love. We go back to Naboo. And the little girl who plays the Queen of Naboo, I told her to watch The Phantom Menace to learn between Padme's court voice, where she speaks as Queen Amidala, and when they speak to one another out of court, to learn the difference in those voices as an acting challenge, because she's very, very talented for 11. So I decided to give her a challenge. She's worked with me before. She played Little Jin in Rogue One and stuff like that. But so she went back and rewatched The Phantom Menace on my console, and she decided her new favorite character is Jar Jar, and her mother's gonna kill me.
If the kid was around 21 years ago, she could have had her pick of Jar Jar merchandise.
Oh God, they had so much Jar Jar. I want half of the Rey merch that they had for Jar Jar. They still have not done sequel trilogy merch. It's all OT and Clone Wars.
Yeah, but some of it, somebody, I forget where it was. It was like a sucker or a popsicle, and like you opened this thing and it opened Jar Jar's mouth, and then his tongue was the popsicle. It was. It was super weird. There was a lot of weird stuff, but pretty much.
So our friend Jonathan in the comments has said to check out, if we ever want to see a weird sequel, check out Spielberg's ideas for E.T. 2, which is like a horror sequel. And I would like to propose that E.T. 1 was scary enough. I do not like E.T. He freaks me out.
I am terrified of aliens. Like, terrified.
One of your favorite movies is Alien, Emily.
I know, it's different, okay? Honestly, I cannot watch it. I can't watch it. I can't even look at him.
The thing that freaked me out most in E.T. was the humans.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know he's sweet. I know he's not the villain.
But
I can't even think about it. And I know, like, this is a Star Wars podcast and everything is aliens.
Oh, you know what's really funny? You know what? One of the things that freaks me out the most is, like, the idea of space. Like, space is a concept. This big empty. No, I hate it. I hate the idea of space. But my favorite movies are Star Wars.
Yep. I would never go to space. I would never go scuba diving.
I'm like water.
Claustrophobic.
I like water. Yeah.
But I'm claustrophobic in like the opposite way, where like space is also really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I can't. Rachel, you recommended watching like the ocean. David Attenborough. What?
Oh, Planet Earth. Blue Planet. Blue Planet. Yeah.
Like I can watch a little bit of Blue Planet, but I get freaked out.
Blue Planet was my cat's favorite television show. She thought it was great. She's like, "Oh my God, so many fish, so many fish."
I couldn't find it on Netflix.
I know it's called the Willis Tower now, but have you guys ever been to like the Sears Tower?
The Sears Tower? I have been, yes.
I have never been. I've walked.
Have you been since they put in? They have this thing where you can,
like the glass.
It's this sort of clear glass. You can walk onto it.
Nope. Nope.
I don't remember if they had that when I was there or not.
Yeah, I did that one time, and I was just sort of like, it was creepy.
I don't think I would have gone if it was available.
I'm afraid of heights, so nope.
I couldn't get Missy on the sky ride at the state fair.
Sorry, what were you saying, Jason?
I'm like your brain is telling you you're not going to fall. That like this glass is thick enough to hold you, but it's your eyes that mess with you. Your eyes are like, we're way too high up. It's like it's that's where the disconnect. Your brain is okay. If your eyes and like the rest of your body are just like, nope, we should not be here. We should not be looking down this far.
Yeah,
I know that there's something similar at the Grand Canyon that you can walk out into like a little bridge.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After going to the Sears Tower, I don't know if I could ever do the bridge at the Grand Canyon, but I would think I could.
Oh man, I don't think I could do a bridge.
I don't do I do not care for heights if I'm not the one. Like I'll go rock climbing and stuff like that, But if I'm not in control of where I am, like, I don't mind. Like, I would have gone on the Sky Ride at the State Fair. If you guys have never been to the Illinois State Fair, it looks like kind of like a chairlift. It goes all the way around the fair.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go on it, never have, so I considered doing it. But I do not like roller coasters. I do not like being dropped from heights.
Yeah. I blame my father because when I went to the State Fair when I was like 5 or 6, we went on the Ferris wheel and we were on the very top of it and he started swinging our thing.
Oh.
And I was like, nope, never again. What was I going to say?
I rode the Superman at Six Flags one time.
Is that the one where you lay down?
No, you're sitting. You go.
Which
It's
Six
just
Flags?
like a straight. St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a straight drop down.
Oh, okay.
But they randomize it so you don't know when it's your turn. But my husband, like, we rode all the major roller coasters, and that was the one where I'm like, I can't do it, guys. I can't do it. And he convinced me to go on, and our car was the first to drop.
Nope.
So I was mid-sentence, and we drop, and all the air just leaves my lungs. I can't even scream because I don't have any air left. I'm like, never again.
Yeah.
They have that at Six Flags. I lived up farther north in Illinois, so I went to Six Flags Great America, and that one, the Superman coaster is a roller coaster that you lay down on.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
First of all, no. Second of all, they also do have the giant drop, which my sister and dad always went on. And one time they were at the top, and my sister goes, "I don't think I want to do this." And my dad's like, "Too late, Buttercup." But no, I do not. I was always a spinny ride person, and then turns out as you get older, like the stuff in your ears that keeps you upright gets a little thicker, so you get motion sick easier. So I used to ride the Orbit like 7 or 8 times in a row. It's a spinny one that flips you upside down. It's great. Now I ride it like once or twice, and I'm like, I'm going to go sit with my head between my knees for a while.
Yeah, I never rode the spinny rides, and I get motion sick very easily now. Well, my whole life, but especially now. So, yeah.
So I remember, Rachel, you were saying earlier that you don't like the vastness of space, but your favorite movie is a space movie. I think with Star Wars, the reason is they don't really. There's not a lot of like vastness of space. They're going from planet to planet.
Yeah. Which does help. I mean, like, honestly, that's part of what, like, the reason the tension in, like, say, Alien and The Last Jedi feels real to me, because, like, that's part of what's so freaky about Last Jedi is you're stuck on this ship that's running out of fuel, and that shield is the only thing keeping you from certain death, either at the course of the outside or at the people behind you. I mean, it's the same idea as, like, Alien, where something's on the ship, but you can't leave the ship.
Yeah.
My friend Robin made me watch. We watched all, 6 movies that are tangentially related to Alien at one point in like 3 weeks.
Yeah. I just rewatched the 4th one. Well, maybe not just, like a month ago, because I had seen it as a kid, kind of. But then I realized as we were rewatching it that I really hadn't seen it as a kid. But then we were watching it while I was doing a really hard alien puzzle. And so I still don't really know what happened because I was like zoned in on the puzzle.
It's so weird. That is the one though, Missy, with the wheelchair I want to get you. That's the tricked out, like, awesome treasure. I love that.
See, I just want I always forget Mr. Lars's first name. Shmi's husband.
Cleek.
Yeah.
Cleek
I just want the floaty.
We need to get you, we'll get you baby's little hover thing where when people make you mad, you can hit the button and shut it.
I thought we were getting that as my sidecar for Snoopy.
I think that is going to be, We've been. They have now made. Disney makes adaptive Halloween costumes now, where there's parts with it that go over wheelchairs for kids, and one of them is where the kid is dressed basically as the Mandalorian, and then the chair gets a piece that looks like the Razor Crest. Then the side on the wheels is Baby, and so we're trying to figure out if we can just buy the wheel part to put Baby Yoda on.
Because I would wear that 24/7.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
it is really cool.
You know, it's funny, Emily, you were saying that you thought you had seen Alien as a kid. I think that was for me when I first really started to watch Star Wars stuff. So I'm 40, so Star Wars has always kind of been in my world.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until probably the last few years that I really have gone back. I mean, I had seen the originals, but I don't know that I paid total attention to them until recently. And that was, I always thought I had, but
this corresponds to about the point where I came into her life. So do with that information what you will.
Yeah.
It's always funny to rewatch a movie that you haven't seen since you were a kid and realize, oh, I interpreted that really differently as a kid.
There are one of them is I used to love the movie Master of Disguise. Have you guys seen this movie? I was the right age to see it. It's the dumb movie where the guy can disguise himself. It's the one that the commercial had, the Are We Turtly Enough for the Turtle Club?
That one. Okay, yeah.
Is that the one with Dana Carvey?
Yes. My sister and I thought this movie was amazingly hysterical, and then we tried to watch it on Netflix 3 years ago, and we're like, oh my god, this is so terrible.
It's just a meme now.
Yeah. It did not. It was funny when you were 12, but then then there's other.
Was it funny though?
12-year-old, yeah.
And other stuff my sister and I were really into Phantom of the Opera when we were 12 and 14.
Yeah.
And then so we went to go see the national tour that year. A couple years ago, the university near me put on Phantom of the Opera because they have a huge, amazing musical theater program. So my sister and I went to go see it again. And on the way to the car, on the way home, my sister went, you know what? I never realized how many of those songs were about sex until I watched it as an adult. I'm like, okay, I got some of it because I was a little bit older when we saw it, but not to that degree.
Mm.
It was just kind of one of those things where you watch it as an adult. Or if you watch Shrek now, you're
Music of the night. Yeah, Shrek is, yeah.
Pretty much any Disney movie, there's definitely some scenes in there for the adults only.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. I do not know how that's a kids movie. It is probably the most beautiful score Disney has ever written and one of the best movies, but that is not a children's movie.
Did Disney write the score or was it based on the musical? I don't
know. No, it was actually a movie first. They've just recently made it into a musical based off the movie, but it's more Victor Hugo-esque. It's gorgeous. There's a bootleg on YouTube you should watch if you have a chance. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I watched some with the deaf actor playing Quasimodo. It's really cool.
I was sending that to Missy the other day. I found a video where that same actor signs Angelica's rap from Satisfied in Hamilton.
Yes,
I did not know people's hands could move that fast.
So good. It is better than the original Satisfied somehow, which is perfect in its own. But the way he does it is so good and so heartfelt. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you can tell he's actually deaf because he has the emotion behind it.
Yeah, he's so talented. I went on I watched a lot of videos with him in it one day.
He's a really talented actor too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So good. But what you were saying with the Hunchback with Hellfire.
Yeah. That was
my god,
I had to choose to light a psalm when I was in a lighting class and I couldn't decide. I was going to do a Disney psalm. I couldn't decide between Savages from Pocahontas or Hellfire, and I ended up doing Hellfire. So all my lights were red. And when he was saying "It's not my fault, mea culpa," I had a light aimed at the audience, so it was almost like a the thing you think of with like police interrogations with the light in your eyes.
Mhm.
So when it was the part he's trying to make his case, there's the light on the audience, so they feel like they're looking into the interrogation lights.
Oh,
It was
that's
really fun.
cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
My friend Ethan actually got to help design that show, so I got to see some of his shots from it, which were kind of cool.
Yeah. You know, another Disney movie where you don't really, well, I didn't really get it until I was older is Lilo and Stitch, and like how young her older sister is, and
She was like
like
19.
yeah, and like Stitch is like stitching the family back together, and like it's such a heartfelt I have always loved that movie, but not until being an adult do I really like see it for what it is.
It's like, I think that because Moana came out when I was an adult, and I feel like kids love that movie, but I appreciate so much of that movie as a grown-up. That, like Frozen, which also came out when I was an adult.
Frozen's like that too, because it's such like a good allegory for depression, and it just
Have you
adds
seen
that
Frozen
layer.
2?
I have not yet.
Frozen. I prefer Frozen 2. I like the music better than Frozen 1, but Frozen 2 is a story I like better.
I love it. I cried like a baby the other day because there's a video on Broadway World of the first rehearsal when the Frozen National Tour cast is back together.
You showed me.
They're singing for the first time in forever. All together, and like there's a point where like it's supposed to be Elsa's supposed to be upset during the whole song, but there's a point the actress is literally jumping up and down because she's so excited. And I was at work, and my coworker, I said, "Do you want to see this?" And she goes, "Are you crying right now?" I'm like, "Shut up, Lacey."
I cried while watching Twilight today, and I don't know if it was just being sleep deprived. I cried twice at weird times. Like,
did you cry? Okay, New Moon. I think I cried during New Moon when I saw it in theaters, but I was also a hormonal teenager.
I've never cried at a Twilight. Like, I've been a Twilight fan since the books came out, and I don't think I've ever shed tears before, but I sure did today.
Sleep deprivation's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I think that was part of it. But it was the first time it was when Charlie's friend dies, and Bella goes into the police department to comfort him, and he's like, I've known him for 30 years, and that hit hard.
Yeah.
And then the other time was when Edward starts sucking the venom out. Sorry, this is like a spoiler, I guess, for Twilight, but does anyone really care? Edward starts sucking the venom out. They play the song that Rob Pattinson sings, Let Me Sign. And there's like a montage. And like, I know it's not a well-made movie, but something about that song with that montage, I shed tears. I'm sitting there crying, and then I'm like, what am I doing? Crying.
And then I sent you a joke about ice cold dick because I'm an asshole sometimes.
It was a much needed joke.
Because you and Matthew were both talking about Twilight last night, but I decided it was too spicy for the main group chat.
Yeah, like they're the type of movies where I recognize they're not good. Like, story's really not good. Filmmaking isn't quite there. Acting, dialogue, like I know they're not good, but I grew up with them, and so they're good enough for me. Like, they still are nostalgic, and I love the setting. I love like the Pacific Northwest and how rainy it is. It gets me in the fall mood. So like when fall comes around every year, I like want to watch the Twilight movies.
When I watched them, I said afterwards that I forget which one. I said I wanted to move to that town and open a shop that sells only jean shorts. Because you could retire.
But are you going to sell the plaid shirts to go with it so you can be like full George Lucas?
No, I just like all of those guys that turn into werewolves. They all wear jean shorts or jorts. They all wear jorts. So I was making a killing off of jorts in that town.
Yeah.
And the one thing I noticed, because I watched it with my sisters, and one of the things I noticed is that for some reason, the when I watched them, I was watching them mostly because I was looking for jokes. But
Needed new material.
yeah, but the kid who's the Taylor Lautner, what's his character's name? Jacob.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob. I was like, you can tell he likes that jacket because when he turns into a werewolf, he takes the jacket off first,
Yeah, so it doesn't shred.
so it doesn't
Wouldn't it be
shred when he
funny
turns into a wolf.
if when they turned into wolves, like they still had the jean shorts on as wolves?
Yes. Have you guys ever seen that comic of if a dog wore pants, would he wear them like this or like this? Let's see if I can find this.
Yes.
No, I haven't seen that, and it is a good question because
I have one for that, and I have one for if a giraffe wore a necktie, and my mom told me to stop sending it to her.
is it when he wear it at the bottom?
Would
of
it
the
wear
neck?
up?
Yeah.
See, to me, I say it's at the bottom because if it's at the top, it would be like us wearing it here.
Yeah.
It would be, there are days. Where is it? I just lost my button.
Oh no.
I lost all my buttons. Yeah, they give me the control room, and then I lose all the buttons for it.
So this is off the subject a little bit, but you brought up George Lucas, and one of my favorite George Lucas moments is I know Rachel, you have because we watched it together. The making of the Mandalorian when he holds Grogu.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
It's an important question, listeners. Put your answer in the comments.
I'm gonna go right.
I'm going right also.
I am also going to go right. What's your vote, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going right too, but I think it's just because I don't know. Without getting too deep into it, but what is the point of pants? If nothing but to cover your nethers, and that's what you're covering. So
I have boy short-haired dogs. They're always on display around here. If you haven't yelled the phrase "your wiener away" at any given time.
See, I have a girl dog, so I don't have that problem. So
that's my mom. She has all female dogs. So my dogs come in and she's like, "Why is everybody's leg lifted on everything?" And I'm like, "Hi, welcome to my life."
Yeah, I still have that to look forward to. We were hoping we could get him neutered at 4 months because he is he sometimes shows signs of aggression, and we want to just
nip that in the bud.
But the vet said to wait till 6 months, so we have 3 months of vicious boy.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Every day I question the decision to get a puppy.
Oh.
But the puppy chose you, Emily.
This coming from the person who once a night will text me and say, "Come get your dog."
Yeah, that's true. I do text Missy to come get her dog. But to be fair, that was the dog I wanted. Like, I picked up one dog and my ex said, "They're small, let's get two." So when I left the ex and moved out of the house, who ended up with both dogs? That would be me.
Yeah. Well,
what
to be fair,
attached to you?
To be fair, he was willing to take Snoopy if I could not find a home that would let me have both. Nobody wants Boots because Boots is an asshole.
I hope my puppy grows up to be nice. That's my one wish.
Boots is very nice. He's friendly. He loves people. He's just kind of can be a jerk when he wants to be. I'm like, no, we are not playing fetch. We are not playing tug. Put my sock down. And he's like,
what was it that show you were watching said they have to be under one?
Chihuahuas, if you don't train them by one, they basically just set in their personality and it stays forever. And I got my dog at 7, so I missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, you must have had a couple years.
Well, I'm trying my best to train Spook, and he is learning. He has learned, which feels good that I've maybe done something right, but he's learning slower than what I would want him to.
You know what? Most dogs do take a lot of repetition. There's things that tell you, like, there's different dog breeds and how much repetition they need. I used to have a Sheltie. You repeated it like 5 times, she had it. Then we went to Lhasas. Lhasas have been bred to be cute. Lhasas are not bred to be bright.
Yeah.
Or nice.
Well, and everyone. So I read on some Wikipedia study that tested the intelligence of dogs, and that study showed that like beagles were the dumbest dog. So I went into this knowing, okay, beagles are dumb. But then everyone that I've talked to since then will say, "Oh, beagles are super smart." And he does seem smart. What I think I've landed on is beagles are stubborn.
Yes.
That is the thing. It's like that's how they measure. They measure dogs' intelligence by how well they work with people.
Yeah.
Beagles are like dachshunds. As hunting dogs, they're bred to work on their own and come back to you.
Yes, he's independent and stubborn.
Mhm.
I think he knows, like, he has gotten to the point to where he maybe respects me and maybe trusts me, but I am not the end all be all for him. He might follow me into the other room if he's, like, hungry and
Mhm.
he knows that I deliver the food, but in his mind, he is still in control.
One of my parents' dogs will only eat if my dad feeds her because he's the one that usually feeds her. My brother will feed this dog, and this dog is like, "This is not proper. This is not right. Why would you deign to give me kibble?" And Noah's like, "Jovi, eat your food." And literally, my father will come home, pick up the dish, put down the dish, and the dog will eat the food. And my brother's like, "I have questions."
It's
So
Jovi.
I've
It
watched
is
so
Jovi.
many, like, dog training videos because I work from home, so I'm with him all the time, and I wanna be like and last night, I had my husband watch him for, like, 15 minutes while I was in the shower, and we had just gone to Petco and got all these new toys because he was starting to get bored with the toys that we had, and I'm like, "I need new toys to switch him out." And so before I went, I'm like, "Okay, these are the 2 toys that we have out for right now. I'm gonna switch him out, like, every few days once he gets bored, but these are what we're working with now." And I don't know if my husband just wasn't listening or wasn't paying attention, but I come out of the shower and, like, every toy is out on the floor. And I'm like, "What are you doing? I need the novelty. I need to get through the week." And then after I explained that, he's like, "Oh, I just opened the lid of toys and let him choose."
Let me introduce you to Perry. This is Perry. My friend Melissa bought my dog a squeaky, crinkly, shiny, stuffed platypus. My dog does not want to fetch the platypus. My dog does not want to play with the platypus. It is his emotional support platypus, and it must just be nearby.
Oh, well, that's something.
It's very interesting.
We have a rule where the, like, fuzzy toys he can only have when he's being, like, supervised, and there are
Mhm.
some toys he can only have when he's playing with us,
Mhm.
but the chew toys he can have
Yeah.
anytime, anywhere, but the Kongs with the peanut butter he can only have if he's in his crate because I'm trying to build value to the crate.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also they get peanut butter everywhere.
Very true. He loves peanut butter.
I almost asked you earlier for your address to send a present because somebody showed me like a fairly decent dog toy that they're like, "No, they can't destroy this duck," and I'm like, "I'm gonna send Emily's dog a duck and see if he destroys the duck."
I'm trying to stick. He still has his puppy teeth, so I'm trying to only stick to like puppy centric
makes
toys
sense.
right now. But I think he does like to chew. So, well,
I
I
mean,
don't
we
know
could.
how powerful of a chewer he'll grow up to be.
One of my
I was
friends has
also-
this theory that all dogs are born with the same amount of aggression in their bodies. So the bigger the dog, the more chill they are because it's kind of spread out, which is why Chihuahuas are like insane.
Snoopy can hear you.
Snoopy knows.
I know Snoopy. Snoopy is kind of hell on wheels sometimes. He's like, "A man dared to speak to me, Mom." I'm like, "I know,
No,
buddy. The
this is the
audacity."
This is the dog. So Rachel and I went out. Her parents were camping nearby, and I went out to hang out and meet her parents and stuff. And he come over and he put his front paws on my footrest, and wanted pets. So I reached out. I'm like, "Hi, buddy." Next thing I know, he is claiming me, and he's like right here.
Oh wow.
I said up.
Yeah, no, because he does the thing. He sits on his haunches and waves his front legs, which means he wants up. And Missy said, "In a minute, buddy, I'll pet you." And so she reached down and petted him. And then next thing I know, this dog is in her lap, and he looks at me like, "Mom, I said up," and I'm like, "I'm sorry that I did not immediately cater to your whims, sir."
I was
Jason,
just happy he figured out how to climb.
how long did it take Zira to like chill?
Well, it depends on the day. Some days she's still not chill, but for the most part, she just likes. Because the first couple of years I had her, while I was at work, I would have to crate her, and then I was slowly like getting her out of the crate and let her like stay in a room. And but since I've been working from home the last few years, she just whatever room I'm in, she's happy. She has her toys that she chews on mostly. She kind of got out of the when she was a puppy. I think she thought the goal of the squeaky toys was to rip out all of the stuffing.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not the goal of the squeaker toy? My dogs have been lied to.
My dog loves a squeaker-ectomy.
And destroy it. But now she just like right now she's just right there, just hanging out.
Aww.
Yeah, that's my goal.
On her personal couch.
Yeah, on her
the one
couch.
thing I want in life right now.
So so basically, as long as she knows where I'm at, she's good. She doesn't. She used to sleep at the foot of the bed every night. Now she sleeps on the floor in front of the bed, or sometimes if I'm being obnoxious sleeping, I don't know, she'll come and she'll sleep in here. It just, as long as she knows where I'm at, she's good.
Yeah, she seems like a good dog.
Yeah, she is. She could poop quicker though.
They all could.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get Spook to where he can go on command. When he goes, I'll say potty, potty. And now it's to the point to where if he is like distracted and I know he has to potty, I'll say it and then he'll like start to like be I'm like, okay, we're getting there.
Zero was so I would say that the key to Zero, once I figured out what her kind of going to the bathroom schedule was, because when you first get a dog, you're just like, do they gotta go now? Do they gotta go now?
Yeah.
Do they gotta go now?
Yeah, it's hard to know.
So, but I realized that she got to the point where I could see that she could hold it for about 4 hours, and she wouldn't go during the middle of the night. Like at night, she'd be fine, but like during the day, she had about 4 hours when she was a puppy. So I knew if I took her out at 10, I'd be ready to take her out around 2, and it's kind of progressed from there. But she's a good dog. She'd rather wake me up in the middle of the night than use the bathroom in the house. So, which sucks for me because now I got to wake up and take her outside.
See,
on the other hand, I don't have to wake up to her having used the bathroom in the house.
Yeah.
See, my thing about my pad trained dogs is they will take themselves to their bathroom area and use the bathroom on the pad in the middle of the night. The problem is my dogs are not quiet nor subtle. So I'm like, thank you. Now I'm up anyway because you literally hit everything on the way there. I hear prancing. I hear you getting settled. I'm like, really? The whole point of this was so I could sleep.
Yeah. Rachel, did I ever tell you I had a friend who had a puppy that they were pad training, and she one time went on the pad, was so proud of herself, she dragged the pad in to show Daddy.
See, my thing is, like, if there's anything scary between him and my laundry room's right off my kitchen, and that's where the putty pads are, because I have them on a spare crate liner, so I can move it if I need to do laundry, right? So it's not in the kitchen or near the laundry if I want to actually use it. But if there's something scary between him and the potty pad, Snoopy doesn't want to go use the potty pad. So I've walked in and Snoopy has gone on, if there's like a paper towel or something on the bathroom floor, he's gone to go find that because in his brain, he's like, nope, there's a scary thing between me and the potty pad, but I will find the next option that's the closest and Mom won't yell at me. And I'm like, I can't even get mad. That's the most logic my dog has ever shown. But no, that was not the right answer, Snoopy.
But his definition of scary is also quite interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to buy him. Missy and I were looking at Chewy earlier. I was sending her links. There's a baby Yoda themed bed. It's like got the ears and everything, and it's got a little cave for the dog to climb into. And I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be Snoopy's favorite thing or utterly and completely terrifying.
Yeah, it's hard
I
to
don't know.
know.
I don't know.
Spook met my husband's computer chair today because
Oh,
we had a friend over,
Oh.
so we had to roll it into the. And he did not like it at first, and then I've learned that the trick is to not force it, to let him go at his own pace. And so he would go, and I was like, "Isn't that a cool chair? It's such a cool chair." And I was like giving him treats, and then now he's like best friends with the chair.
So my old dog, he's passed away now, but it was a Dachshund Min Pin mix. Hated skateboards. Hi, Zira.
Skateboards?
Yeah, I think it was
Oh.
the sound the wheels make.
Yeah, Zira's terrified of skateboards. Terrified of them.
Yeah.
Because like bikes and everything, he was fine with. It was just skateboards, so I think it was the noise.
I've been trying to work him on the vacuum. I haven't turned it on yet. I'm just trying to get him used to the vacuum as a thing that exists, and he barks. He still barks at it. Like it got to the point where he was okay with it just being in the room, and then I tried to like move it, and no, all bets are off. So I don't.
My mother has a Roomba. Her Roomba's name is Rosie after the because we name our electronics apparently after the robot Jetsons from the Jetsons. So Rosie, my mother has 3 dogs. Bindi Sue is 14 years old. Alasa Opso has 3 legs and 0 fucks left to give. Long time ago, this dog's fucks have left. Jovi is 3 years old, alternates between jealousy and rage, very sweet to my mother, wants to fight most everything else. Noelle, you know that moment where the snowman in Frozen goes, "My name's Olaf and I like warm hugs"? My dog is Noelle's a cross between that and the dog from Up. I'm hiding under your porch because I love you, dog.
Yeah.
My mom starts Rosie the Roomba. Bindi will let this Roomba go up to her and like practically bounce off of her. This dog does not care. She is not moving for the Roomba. The Roomba can dust around her. Jovi's greatest desire in life is to fight the Roomba. Noelle is the biggest by about probably 10, 15 pounds, terrified of the Roomba, goes and hides in the other room because, oh my god, it's running. Hates the vacuum. Jovi, bless her heart, wants to fight the vacuum cleaner. And my sister's like, why? Why is the big dog currently cowering? And I'm like, yeah, that's my mom will start the Roomba and she's like, Jovi, stop fighting the Roomba.
We also have a Roomba, and we have named it Mo after the little robot in Wall-E. But we've never used it, and except for right now, I just now realized I need to introduce Spook to the Roomba so that we can start using it.
Oh, that's got to be good.
Pro tip. From what I've heard from other people, make sure there's no chance of him having accidents in the house before you run the Roomba without inspecting the house.
Yeah. He hasn't had any potties in the house yet. So
yeah, did you hear that? Somebody else's dog is already better potty trained than you two.
Well, I'm not pad training him though. Because my mom did that, and it has led to, I think, more problems than not. And so I've decided just not to do that step.
They were pad trained when I got them. So again, Chihuahua 1 year, we missed that boat, and it was that or not having any sort of control over my life. But yeah, so we went for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my sister also has a Roomba named Winky after the drunk house elf from Harry Potter because she swears that's how it goes around the house like it's a drunk little house elf. But her cat will like just literally like look at it and let it bounce off of him, and she's like, "Sherlock, get out of its way!" And he's like, "No, I'm not moving." When I lived with my ex, we had one, and it had like we got one of the little sensors like it tells the Roomba that's an area to stay away from, and we put it near the cat's food and water dish. My cat would go, she didn't realize it didn't ever go near her thing. She literally sat in front of it because that cat was willing to go down with the ship protecting her food bowl because that cat's best friend was the food. She literally sat in front of it like, it touches my food bowl, it dies. And I'm like, okay, Virginia, We're getting a little chubby, dear.
Man, cats. I can't have a cat because my husband's allergic, but after like day 3 of having the puppy, I'm like, cats are so much easier.
My sister's cat, though, he's Siamese Maine Coon, and we're pretty sure there's something else in there, but he is large, he is smart, and he is loud. He likes to yell at me when I stay at my sister's in the middle of the night to ask me why I'm sleeping in the living room, because I'm like, dude, I'm sleeping, go away. And he's like, but we don't sleep in this room, wow. He also occasionally likes to, when he's using the litter box to do number 2, he sticks his head out and screams just because he's like, hey, Mom, I'm using the box. And my sister's like, why? Why do you have to scream every time?
Mom, come wipe my butt.
So if droids are the dogs of the Star Wars universe, then what are the cats? Or are some of the droids more cat-like?
I think Chopper's more cat-like.
I think
3PO is a cat.
Chopper.
I think
3PO is the cat too. Yeah,
I think
very
R2
different spectrums.
R2 might be a cat, but he's a friendly cat. Dio.
BB-8's definitely a dog, though.
Oh, that's my favorite part of Last Jedi is when Poe scratches his tummy.
Yeah. BB-8 and Dio are definitely dogs. I can see R2 being like the older, 10-year-old dog. It's just like whatever.
R2 would be like a Sheltie. Like Holly had this perfected level of fuck she did not give because she was old, and until people were too spread out, and then she's a Sheltie. She had to round them all back up into a smaller area. I mean, that's basically R2's job with the rebellion and the resistance is literally to just Leia sends him out to go round up the kids.
Yeah. Well, when is it? I forget which movie it's in that Leia's line is always trust the droid.
That's Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, no, Dio is specifically my dog because my dog's terrified of everything.
Oh yeah.
For a while, he was known in our group of friends as the Snoopy droid. He's
still known in my world as that. It's not so much your dog, so much as if you look at Peanut Snoopy.
He does kind of look like Peanut Snoopy.
It's the nose.
With the nose, yeah.
But I'm trying to think. Well, there's the Loth cats.
Yeah, there's Loth cats.
There are actual cats.
Mm-hmm. Those things freak me out, though.
I love Loth cats. Ethan might be getting me one of them for my birthday, which you'll note my birthday was in March, but
Is it really late or super early?
I accept gifts all year round. Ethan was my friend was just at Build-A-Bear and he was building himself a Jawa, so
we're in a post-2020 world. Time has no meaning.
I always think that Loth cats, I don't know if any of you guys are like Pokemon fans or watched the anime as a kid, but there's the episode of Ditto who can't transform his face right, and so he'll be like the Squirtle with the Ditto eyes, and I feel like Loth cats look like Ditto tried to be a cat but didn't quite do it right.
I don't know. They kind of look like Meowth too, like a little bit.
A little bit. Just freaked me out when they had the Loth cat in Mandalorian that tried to eat the baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now I have the Team Rocket thing stuck in my
blasting
at the speed. Earlier I was texting one of the actors for our show, and I said, "Cool, I'm glad you're good. I got to go deal with other theater stuff." And I sent him Han Solo's "We're all fine. How are you?" And so I got back a SpongeBob meme, and I'm like, "Okay, thank you, Diego. Now I know that you are also in that group, that generation that only responds to things in SpongeBob references."
Well, it's got so the SpongeBob memes have persisted in a way where Gen Z understands SpongeBob memes even though they didn't grow up with SpongeBob.
Some of Gen Z did. Like my coworker's 22 and he grew up with SpongeBob.
So what's the cutoff? Where's Gen Z start?
I don't remember. Let me double check that. It depends on who you ask.
Yeah, I think there's some.
Because I know, so I was born in 81, and I'm the first year of millennial.
I think
Gen Z
the
is
last year of millennial, and I'm 93.
Okay.
Okay, according to Mental Floss, which is the first search result, millennials were 81 to 96. Some people go back to the late 70s as older millennials, or like Gen X millennials,
Yes.
Xennials.
That's what I tend to see myself as. There's like 78 to 82 is considered Xennials. That's where I put myself.
The technology you had growing up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gen Z is usually 97 to 2012, apparently.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Wait, what's after 2012?
I don't know.
Toddlers.
Children.
What are they?
Yeah.
Not really. 2012? They're like
10.
Oh, that's true. That'd be like
they're getting
9.
up there.
Yeah.
It was the other day, one of my friends posted his son is starting his first day of 6th grade. I'm like, wait, he was a toddler when we met. And then I did the math and we met 9 years ago.
Well, isn't our mutual friend's son starting high school?
Heather's?
Yes.
Yeah, Heather's kid, I think, is a sophomore now. He's got a job.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, no. He's got a learner's permit, too. You want to be terrified, stay off the sidewalks.
The children born in the generation like post 2012 are currently like older than I was at 9/11.
Wow.
I am going to go. It is time to buy an eye cream.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. If you think about it, people right now, there are people who can vote, can almost drink, who were not alive when 9/11 happened.
That's why my theater company is doing this show about 9/11, because there's a whole generation who doesn't understand what happened. And every year they try and spin it as this like super patriotic thing. And people were trying to show, there was some real consequences. Look at the wars we got into. Look at this. Look at that.
Look what's going on right now in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God. Yeah, it's crazy that they're full. Like my brother is a full ass adult and he doesn't remember 9/11 because he was only 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was 9. Well, 8 going on 9, 8, 9.
Yeah,
I was 9.
I was in
I
college.
was 8. I was in 3rd grade.
Yeah, I was in 4th.
And like I was asking my husband, I felt so stupid about all the Afghanistan news, and he was explaining it. And like, even though I grew up with 9/11, and it's kind of like entrenched, I guess, in a lot of ways, how the pandemic will be of the children right now. But like, I wasn't old enough then to fully like grasp it. So it's something like I grew up knowing about, but not really.
Yeah,
so
that.
like, please explain all these details that I am now old enough to comprehend.
My thing that I found out is not 9/11, because 9/11, like as soon as I could, I've always been fascinated by like true crime and disaster stories, like the Titanic and stuff like that. So my obsession with the Titanic goes back to before 9/11 happened, because I was obsessed with that as like a 2nd grader. Welcome to my life. I'm this morbid for a reason. But I just got, because that was one of the first 2 news events I remembered. The 2 news events I remembered were JFK Jr. dying in a plane crash and 9/11. First 2 news events I remember. So because of that, I've always followed, and watched all the 9/11 documentaries. That's why I'm the dramaturg for this production, because it fascinates me. But I didn't realize how much of the aftermath, like the anthrax, like I remember hearing about it at the time because my mom explained it to me, because I would watch parts of the news with her. I didn't realize until I listened to podcasts on it a couple years ago how much I didn't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did, when I was a true crime podcaster, my sister and I did a 3-parter on 9/11, and my sister learned things that, I knew because I was like obsessed with the event, but she'd never heard of because she was only in like 2nd grade at the time.
Yeah. I need to do more like thorough, like, and I feel so stupid like not having done that already, but it was such a weird thing. Like growing up, I remember it happening vividly, and I remember like being shown all the pictures and like how just like tragic it was and how it changed our daily lives. But like from a political aspect, like they couldn't really teach an 8-year-old,
Yeah.
all the politics.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really learn all of that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
kind of
gonna
had the
read
same
that.
thing. I think I was in 3rd and 4th grade when the original Gulf War happened.
Yeah.
So I kind of had the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to read this book, Emily. It's called The Looming Tower, and it's like the politics that led up to 9/11. If it's any good, I got it for like $3 or $4 off Thrift Books. If it's any good and you want to read it when I'm done, I'll send it to you. But
Is
it's
that
supposed to
what
be.
they based the Hulu show on?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a.
Let's see
If
if
you don't
my
want to read the
library has
book, there's a show on Hulu called The Looming Tower with Jeff Daniels that I started one episode.
See, that's the
I
thing
do
is,
look
I
at
like I also, if you ever want the resource lists I'm using for this play, there's some really good ones. There's a book called The Only Plane in the Sky that if you get it, if you decide you want to listen to it, it's on Scribd, and I can send you a free month off my account, which is really good. But it's basically the memories of people on that day, everyone from school children up through like Laura Bush.
Ooh, that sounds
And
interesting.
it is done on Scribd with a full voice cast, so it sounds like each person sounds different, and it's a really good listen. It can be a really hard listen, but it's a really good listen. I also recommend Fall and Rise was really good.
If you guys want something around that's a little bit, I won't say lighter, but a little bit later, it's called Thunderdog. It's an autobiography of a guy who was in one of the towers who was blind and had a guide dog and was able to help people get out because there was so much smoke they couldn't see, but the dog knew what he was doing.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the dog lives. We checked.
Yeah.
I checked twice.
The dog did eventually pass away, but years later.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that because it's still like the puppy is helping me get over Rex, but it's still very,
I get it.
very raw.
Yeah.
I get it. I was watching Dogs 101 with my mom the other day, and one of the episodes was on the Sheltie, and I about cried because I missed my Sheltie, and she died 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
There's a reason I won't watch John Wick.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
There was a case here a couple of weeks ago, or even less than that. A woman got hit in a crosswalk, and she just broke her collarbone, but she's fine. But the hit and run killed her dog.
Oh.
And I
immediately texted Rachel and was like, we're going to find this guy. It was a hit and run.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was a hit and run. I believe I texted my friends and I said, if that happened to me, you better hope the police finds the person before I do if they killed Boots. And one of my friends goes, but what if they killed Snoopy? And I'm like, nope, you don't need to even find me if they killed Snoopy. Missy has already found and eliminated the person. They will not find the body.
I know. Once you own a dog and you watch John Wick, you're like, you know what? This movie makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I get it.
The hardest I have ever cried at a book was Marley and Me.
Yeah,
books.
I won't do it.
I had it on my shelf, and then we lost Rex, and I put it in the donation pile. I'm like, I haven't read it. I don't need to read it.
For the first time, I cried a little bit. The first time I read it really young because I was an advanced reader or whatever, and I like dogs. But after we lost our first cat, who didn't even like me, this cat hated me. Was kind of a bitch, but I loved her dearly. But after we lost her, and I read it again, I sobbed like a baby. There are 2 books that I've sobbed like that at. One of them is Marley and Me. One of them is My Sister's Keeper, because the epilogue of My Sister's Keeper is an older sister reflecting on the loss of her younger sister with the same age gap as my sister and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Now, Emily, I will say, hold off on this one, but there's a book called A Dog's Purpose. They made a movie of it just a few years ago, but it's told from the dog's point of view, but it goes through several of his reincarnations, and it's actually a very cool book.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for that movie.
At one point, Netflix was like, you should watch a movie. And the 3 suggestions Netflix had for me was Rogue One, Coco, and A Dog's Purpose. And I'm like, Netflix? What the fuck?
Surprised there wasn't a true crime in there somewhere.
I still have not watched Coco because I don't feel like crying that much at
Oh,
my
it's
television.
good.
Really good.
Coco is really good.
I've heard that, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to
I
cry.
don't think it's that.
My
it
sister
tugs
is
at
It's not a major
heartstrings.
crier, I don't think.
My
It's like
sister's like, I'm a
Vampire,
grown-ass adult, and I can't not up. Oh my god, that movie is advertised as this cute little children's movie about a dog and a bird.
Yeah,
You can get through the first
we
10 minutes.
rewatched it on Wednesday because it was my husband and I. It was our 10th dating anniversary, so we had been
Aw.
together for a decade, and so we were trying to figure out what movie to watch. So I put on Up, and then like by the end of that opening montage, we're both just sobbing.
The person who did the music that really sad married life, it's Michael Giacchino who did Rogue One too. So that man
really?
is the man whose music can make me cry the hardest, apparently.
Well, didn't you say one time you were doing something and started crying and didn't realize why until you realized what song was on?
Yeah, it was Your Father Would Be Proud from the end song from Rogue One, and I'm like, cool. This is why I'm crying. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the other kids' movies, because we were talking about this earlier, like the kids' movies that you didn't. I'm trying to think of some of the other, like some of the older ones are like, if you watch
Messed
them
up.
now, I had kids that I babysat that about had nightmares after Beauty and the Beast because of the wolves.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that.
Lion King has its moments.
Long live the king. But my friend has a ridiculous amount of cats, and every now and then he sends us a picture of one shoving another one off the cat tree, and he goes, "So we're playing Lion King here today." But he had never seen it until he saw the remake a couple years ago. I'm like, how did you not see the Lion King?
Really?
How old is he?
What?
How old is he?
45-ish?
Well, yeah, he should.
Yeah.
Although if he's that, he would have been in college by that time because I was starting high school.
Okay, look. I went to go see The Princess and the Frog 3 times in its original theatrical run, and I was 18 years old. So
I haven't actually seen that one all the way through yet.
It's so good. I have seen that honestly, that is one of the 2 movies I have seen the most in theaters, is that and The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, wow.
Because I saw Princess and the Frog 3 times in its original run and once in a re-release, and I saw The Rise of Skywalker 5 times. Not because I liked it, because I kept having people to go with. Although I will say the motion seats were fun, except for my friend and I have a lot of jokes about the fact that because they vibrate whenever a villain's near, so it just means that every time Adam Driver walks on screen, both of our seats vibrated. I'm like, they know they're up.
Not going there.
Yep, nope. Okay. So speaking of Annette, I would really like people to stop posting photos of Adam Driver's butt on Twitter.
Oh, well, I wasn't gonna do that. I just was gonna watch it.
No, this is like somebody posted it the other day, like without like covering it or anything, and I'm just like scrolling Twitter, and I'm like, yep, that is definitely a backside.
Huh.
It was like 8 a.m., and I'm like, this is too early.
James and the Giant Peach was scary
That
as a
is-
kid. Like I liked it, but
is.
it's creepy.
I didn't
The
make it all the
rhino?
way through Coraline either.
Yeah,
I
no,
tried to watch that as an adult, and
Yeah.
I tapped out.
Same. I'm like, nope. This is too much for me.
As much as I love it, the original Land Before Time is pretty freaky.
Yes.
I
Oh,
don't
it's
remember the
good.
first one. I remember like a couple of the sequels are the ones I watched as a kid mostly.
Yeah, the
No,
one
see,
with
the original
Chomper,
one
I
was for me.
watched a lot as
I
a
love
kid.
the one with Chomper.
But the original is
Yeah.
like the most emotional.
The Shark Tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Shark. My sister and I still refer to various dinosaurs by their Land Before Time names. And if you look at the story behind the girl who played Ducky, it's horrific.
Mhm.
Ducky
Yeah.
Ducky was one of my favorites.
I could see you as Ducky.
Thanks.
You're short. We've made this joke.
Oh, here we go again.
But yeah, The Land Before Time, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that were super, like the children's movies that rip your hearts out.
Well, anything in Pixar for the last 10 years, pretty much.
Oh God, Pixar hurts.
Toy Story 3.
I didn't see that one yet. I haven't seen Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
Okay, Toy Story 3 came out the same year I went to college, and I couldn't. I just couldn't do it.
Oh,
Fair.
I've seen the third one. I haven't seen the newest one though.
I haven't seen the fourth one because I felt like the third one ended it so well.
Yeah.
What were some of the other ones? I haven't seen Good Dinosaur yet.
Yeah.
It's okay.
My husband surprisingly really liked it.
I love dinosaurs, so that's the thing.
It's not Pixar's
good, but it's not. Yeah, it's not.
Oh,
highly
Emily, you also like Jurassic Park too. So this afternoon, I was watching on watching my Twitter feed, and somebody said they put it on for their kid, and their 5-year-old happened to be in the room when Eddie Carr gets killed, which Eddie Carr gets torn between two T-Rexes.
Oh, in the Lost World? Is that
in the Lost World. Their kid goes, "Look, they're sharing."
My mom always covered my eyes during that. But I was just thinking, we were talking about the glass at Sears Tower. It made me think of that scene.
Oh, God.
That is like one of my favorite movie scenes when she's like on the glass and they're trying to climb up, and it's so good. And there was something maybe in the Bad Batch that made me think of that the other day.
Oh, is it when they're trying to escape and the glass is...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And it took me back to that moment when oh God, what's that actress's name?
Julianne Moore.
Yeah, when Julianne Moore is like, and it's, oh man, I need to rewatch that movie. It's been a while.
I love that one, and I love Jurassic Park 3. Nobody likes Jurassic Park 3. I love Jurassic Park 3.
But I think that's because I saw it as a kid.
I saw them all as an adult. I never saw these movies as a kid, and I'm like, this. Okay, so I might have watched that movie like 5 times one week when I was in grad school because I kept watching it while I was writing a paper because I had such bad anxiety. I needed to keep watching something familiar. So I literally watched The Last Jedi and Jurassic Park 3 on repeat for a week. So Laura Dern got me through grad school.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Jurassic Park came out the year I was born, so I grew up with it. I probably grew up with those movies, like, realistically more so than like Star Wars because they were always on, and I saw the third one in theaters. I think I was in 3rd grade, and I just loved it. Yeah,
it's fun. I cannot wait because they're like putting out the last Jurassic World next year, and I'm like, yes. Somebody every time.
I haven't seen the second Jurassic World yet.
It was honestly, you'd probably like it because it definitely has some real alien vibes to it.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty good.
I heard that there's one moment in particular that is like gut wrenching. That it's so.
It is. It's heartbreaking at some point.
Maybe an explosion and a dinosaur that doesn't make it. That's all I know.
Yeah. My sister will tell you they took out the plant eater, and my sister's a vegetarian, so she's like, "No, my people."
Yeah. So I think it was my sister who had a tweet about it, and then after that, I'm like, I don't know if I'm emotionally stable enough to watch this.
Me with multiple movies right now. Like, I still haven't seen Marriage Story because I'm like, you know what? I'm still not emotionally stable enough to watch this movie.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go see Dune, Rachel?
Maybe. Depends on if Delta tries to kill us or not.
Well, yeah.
I've been.
If not, we'll get HBO Max.
I'm like,
I have it
fourth of the way through. I've been reading it all year.
Missy has a very specific reason that she wants to go see Dune.
Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya,
Oscar Isaac.
Oh, that was I would have gotten there.
Yeah,
it's a good cast.
Have you guys ever seen the not the original, but the David Lynch one?
I haven't seen any of them.
When the trailer for the last one, or for the one that's coming out, came out, I watched it, and a couple of friends told me not to, and they were absolutely right to tell me not to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things about that one.
It is. Well, they do this weird thing in it. It's not really a spoiler, but they'll have each character sort of narrate what they're thinking. But really all it is like sometimes a minute or like anywhere from like a 30 seconds to a minute shot, just close up on their face as this dialogue goes on, and it's just weird.
Yeah,
I mean that only
stops.
that only works in musicals.
Yeah, well, they just sort of look into the camera and this dialogue goes on in their head. That was the thing I was like, and then it's like the effects are. Some of the effects are spectacular, and some are just so cheap. I can't understand how much money went.
That's what when during lockdown, when we went through our Star Wars rewatch, we watched when we were watching Clone Wars. Some of the effects in that, I'm like, I remember that being a whole lot better. Not Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Thank you.
Are you talking about Attack of the Clones, or are the others meant the actual Clone Wars cartoon?
No, I'm talking about the second prequel.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
But John Williams went hard on that soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. It was just like that scene where they're flying after the sniper that tried to kill Padme. That I'm like, these effects didn't quite hold up.
The one where Obi-Wan's like, calm down, Anakin, and then he yeets himself out a window.
Yes, exactly.
Is it bad that when Hannah told me that she was learning how to jump out of windows for fire survival training, that's the only thing I could think of?
Yeet.
That was my thing, that's what I commented on her status. She's like, yeah, learning how to jump out windows, and I just literally one word with a period at the end. Yeet. She's like, okay, so yeah, but...
I just love that moment. I love that movie. It's like Twilight. I know it's not the best movie making, but there's something about it. It's just
the movie itself is good. It's just some of the effects. I'm like, I remember this differently.
Well, that was the first movie that Lucas shot digitally. It's one of the first movies ever to be shot digitally. So it doesn't look like it's shot on film because it's not. So it just looks different from the rest of the movies.
So the prequels came out like mid-90s?
No, they
late
came out
later, early 2000s.
Really?
2002 and 2005.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I would have been in college when I was thinking they came out sooner than that.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Phantom Menace was shot on film, but then the second two were shot digitally, and now they shoot all digitally. But I think for that one, because it was the first one, like for me, a lot of the lighting is weird in that.
And I think that's what it is for me, especially in that scene I was talking about. It's very neon.
Yeah, it's just I just don't think they knew enough about how to do it. So by the time like Revenge of the Sith comes around, they're like, okay, we know how to do this because they've done all these other movies. So yeah. But
I also think for me, Revenge of the Sith is probably my favorite of the prequels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite of the prequels. For a while, it was honestly, when there was only 7 Star Wars movies, that was my favorite Star Wars movie, was Revenge of the Sith.
And then Rogue One happened.
Then Rogue One came out. And The Last Jedi came out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I reevaluated. And then I went home and rethought my life.
As much as people hate it, but Last Jedi is probably one of my favorites.
Although I love
Return because I love Ewoks.
That's my thing. I told you, if they ever play, last year for the 40th anniversary, they put Empire Strikes Back on the drive-in, and my friend Heather and I had to go see it.
Yeah, I was supposed to go with you.
Oh, no, that was Blues Brothers. You were coming with us for Blues Brothers.
Oh, that's right.
Because, with Empire Strikes Back, I had like one night that week I was free, and I found out like an hour before that's what they were showing. So I called my friend Heather screaming. Mind you, my friend Heather is a grown-ass married woman with a teenage son who does not usually like have the time to randomly do things with me. But I screamed at her about Empire, and next thing I know, she's picking me up to go to the movies. So, but if they play Return of the Jedi on the big screen, we have to go see it. We have to take my dog because that's his favorite movie.
Oh,
which dog?
Boots.
So he hates Yoda, but he loves the Ewoks.
Loves Ewoks. They remind him of Jovi and Bindi because that's basically what Lhasa Apsos are Ewoks. No, I did take my dog to the drive-in for the first time. We went to go see Raiders of the Lost Ark, and a good time was had by all.
Does anybody know if I was looking at what movies are coming out, and they were talking about the new Indiana Jones. I know he got hurt, so did they finish doing
I think
that?
they're still shooting it. I think they're still shooting it.
I've only seen pictures of Harrison Ford. I haven't seen pictures of the rest of the cast yet.
I haven't either.
I don't think I have either.
I need to know what Mads Mikkelsen is doing, Jason. I need to know.
Probably because all the rest of the cast gets to shoot on a soundstage, and 80-year-old Harrison Ford has to ride a motorcycle like down a cliff or something. So,
look, if he goes, he's going doing what he loves, which is being in extremely popular franchises that he doesn't give a shit about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, God forbid that man use a stunt double.
I was gonna say, crashing his plane into a golf course. That's the other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Fuck. Look.
Talk about somebody that has no fucks left to give.
It's just like, yeah, I gotta put it down. It's kind of like one of these things. Like I know he said in interviews, like in the past, he wasn't a huge fan of Han Solo. But if he's really morphed into any of his characters, I think it is Han Solo. He's into because they got the whole pilot thing and the whole crashing thing. And
because wasn't that where the whole carbonite thing came from? Where they were trying to convince him to come back?
Yeah, they for some reason they hadn't signed him on to the third one, and so that was why they introduced Lando, and that's why they froze him just in case.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
That's one of the reasons, because everybody was wondering how they got him back for the 9th one, and they said, well, one of the reasons is obviously because Carrie couldn't do it, and Harrison Ford, the one scene he played with Adam Driver stabbed him in the chest, but he wanted to do another scene with him. So, yeah. Anyway, it is 8:06, so we should probably, wrap this up for the evening.
Thank you for joining this mostly dog special of Happy Hour.
We would like to invite you to the Star Wars Happy Hour, where we talk very little about Star Wars and a lot about dogs, especially about how they're pooping.
Yep.
So my life revolves around schedule.
Someday I'll be able to show my dog to you, but it's just not possible right now. It's crazy.
I loved that we got to meet Lyra yesterday. I think that she might be the youngest podcaster ever, and I might have cried a little bit.
Yeah, she's precious.
Oh, she is very precious. So this has been. I have my banner. Where's my banner? There we go. I found my banner. You can follow us on Twitter at Followers of the Force Podcast if you care about what David ever has to say. We're also on Instagram and Facebook as Followers of the Force. You can follow us on Patreon. What's our episode schedule? Mondays, new podcast episodes. Every other Wednesday, we have a new show. Every Saturday, if we're not all busy, we have a happy hour. And we have a TeePublic store as well with designs. I think, is that our spiel? I feel like that's our spiel.
I think so.
That's our spiel.
So, this has been the Followers of the Force. Till next time, may the Force be with you.
Forgo it.